Hi guys, Sarah here, and today I'm going to be reviewing Lorde's new album, Virgin, and holy crap, Lorde has come out with a new album. It's been 4 years, and she's finally come out with a new album. Oh my god, oh my god. And it's been a couple days since the album's come out. I know I'm pretty late to listening to the album, mainly because I've just been really busy with like homework and actual work and shit like that, so I just haven't had time to just sit down, and I really wanted to, like, you know, be seated for this album and just fucking let myself become immersed, because it's a Lorde album. I need to just take that time, you know? Like, other albums, okay, I'll just listen to them while I'm, like, walking, or while I'm just, like, you know, doing my office work. No, Lorde, I need to be fully focused on these pieces. Her fucking lyricism, like, she's a lyricist genius. Like, I knew I had to be seated for this album. And right now it's like, I was gonna say 4 a.m. No, right now it is 3:38, and yeah, as you can see, I'm not in my car, I'm in my closet. I kind of just wanted to listen to this album, and I was kind of feeling it now, even though it's really late and I should be going to bed. But you know, it's fine. I don't have work tomorrow, so I'm kind of feeling a little less bad about staying up so late. But you know, if it's for Lorde, I don't care what time I sleep. Like, I just want to feel things right now. Anyways, so this is Lorde's 4th album. Again, it's been 4 years since she's come out with an album. Her last album was Solar Power, and it was a good album, but compared to Melodrama and Pure Heroine, which, in my opinion, are masterpieces. As good as Solar Power was, I just don't feel like it ever reached the peak that those albums reached for me, personally. So I'm really hoping that this album kind of follows more of what Pure Heroine and Melodrama sounded like, and it's more, like, cohesive like those albums were for me. Hoping anyways. I know Lorde's released a couple of these songs on the album as singles, but I've actually kind of been avoiding them, like, on purpose, mostly just because, like, I want to listen to all the songs in the order of the album, because I know with Lorde, like, she usually likes to touch on, like, specific themes and topics, like, throughout her albums, and, like, each song in the album kind of flows into each other to create, like, this comprehensive piece of work. And I kind of just wanted to experience that instead of, like, hearing the random singles just when they would come out. But I'm pretty sure I did hear a snippet of Man of the Year, just because of, like, this whole, like, trend going on, which is definitely an interesting trend exploding on TikTok, but we're not going to talk about that. I'm really hoping in this album she touches on some of the topics she's been talking about more recently, like in the Girl So Confusing remix on Brat. She talked a bit about, like, her, like, eating disorder and like, her struggles with body dysmorphia, and then she's also been talking, like, publicly about, like, kind of figuring out her gender identity. Touching on topics like that, I feel like, would be a really interesting way to go for this album. But then again, the album is called Virgin, so that makes me think maybe the album might be about more of her, like, sex life, or maybe about, like, some, like, specific people she's been in romantic relationships with, or maybe even she'll touch on, like, purity, since a lot of time purity and innocence is often, like, attached to being a virgin. So maybe she'll be touching on that, like, more of her, like, pure innocent side. I don't know. I'm trying to figure out what to do with my hair. Like, it keeps getting in my face, but, like, keeping it on this side is kind of hard. Whatever. Anyways, I'm gonna get into the album now. It's 11 tracks long, which is not very long for having to wait, like, 4 years. I'm like, damn, we couldn't get more music. But I mean, I'm just grateful we even got any new Lorde music this year, so I'm just really excited. Oh, I'm gonna get into it. Okay, I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back, and honestly, I'm thinking I'm just gonna be doing, like, a song by song review, because it is so late, and sitting here and listening to the entire album, I feel like my brain will not be able to process every single song if I just listen to all the songs like all at once and then start talking about it. And plus, I just have so much to say about the first song already, like Hammer, which is the first song on the album. I'm also gonna have the lyrics pulled up on my iPad, so yeah. Alright, so the song started out really visual, like her describing like the mist from the fountains kissing her neck, and how like the liquid crystal is in her grip, and just very like imaginative already. The beats from the synths kind of remind me of like pulsing, like kind of like the pulsing in your ears you kind of hear when you've gone for like a run or done some like really rigorous workout. Like you start kind of hearing that pulsing sound in your ears, and that's kind of what the synth throughout the entire song, but mostly like in the beginning reminded me of. And I really like that decision to kind of add that pulsing synth noise, because it definitely adds a lot of tension. And then there's like kind of like these twinkly noises in the background like before the chorus, and I think that honestly helps to resolve the tension kind of, and I thought that was a pretty unique choice. Just from listening to the lyrics of this song, like they touch a lot on self-discovery, I feel like, so that's kind of telling me, yeah, self-discovery is definitely going to be a topic throughout this album. She talks specifically about like her relationship with someone, I have no idea who. Like she talks about not knowing if she feels love for this person or if it's just like ovulation, and also how she's kind of like seeking a connection from this person, which I thought was maybe showing how she's not sure how she feels about this person, if it's like romantically or not, and kind of like if they'd want to try and seek that connection with her to maybe figure it out. She also says, I feel like I've been born again, which I'm pretty sure is her kind of like discovering more about her gender identity. I also kind of thought like from that lyric maybe she means like a rebirth almost in her sound, and honestly she might just be talking about herself as like a human being in general, and how maybe through like the creation of this project she's kind of made peace with not having all the answers to everything, and just kind of feeling this like freeing feeling of just being born again, which I feel like is definitely represented in the song as she like kind of sings through the tension and like builds up to this really euphoric release at the end of the song, which I thought was like gorgeous. Like goddamn, it just feels so freeing too. Like I almost imagine like kind of like when she was talking about that fountain in the beginning of the song, I kind of imagine just like her spinning with like her arms out like in the fountain, not caring the like if the water is like, you know, soaking her makeup, soaking her hair, and just like feeling the warmth from like the sun's rays on your face and body. I also really like the lyrics at the end where she's like, let it break me down till I'm just a breath, till I'm just a voice living in your head. It's a fucked up world, been to hell and back, but I've sent you a postcard from the edge. And I'm like, like it's so obvious that the postcard she's talking about is this album, and how, you know, through the creation of this album she's been to hell and back. Like she's gone through some really tough shit, and she's been on the edge, and I really love how she touches on that, and that's kind of like how she ends the first song of the album, kind of introducing us to it. And yeah, I think it's so fucking clever. Like I need Lorde tickets. I need to see Lorde on tour, please. The next song is What Was That, and I really like this song, honestly. I think I might like it more than Hammer. Obviously I'm going through this album kind of song one by one, so I don't know if I like it more than the other songs yet, but I do really like this song. The lyrics are very raw and relatable, and I really enjoyed songs kind of like this on Pure Heroine and Melodrama. I feel like it definitely gives a lot more of like vibes from those albums. Like I really love the build-up of this song. Like it makes me feel like I'm running through like the empty streets of like a neighborhood where all the houses look the same, and I'm just running with like the cool air kind of going in my lungs and blowing my hair behind me, and without a care in the world. Like that's kind of what the build-up made me feel like. Lorde is again speaking on like a past relationship. I don't know if it's the same one, but yeah, I definitely feel like that's gonna be kind of a theme throughout the album. Her kind of talking about her again, past lovers and relationships. I like how the song kind of feels like she's confronting someone, like kind of like yelling all her feelings out to this one person, or maybe even just like confessing all the feelings she feels to herself. The lyrics feel like they're kind of telling a story. She talks about how she does drugs with her partner and how like her lover and her would kiss for hours and how it's like the best cigarette of her life. I just really love how like I love how just like real she is with her lyrics. Like, I don't know, it just feels so like relatable and just like you're having a talk with a friend. And the lyric, since I was 17, I gave you everything? Bro, are you kidding me? As the song continues on, she starts to miss her partner more and more. Like, she states, it might not let me go, and there's like a really cool effect in the song at the, during that lyric. And that kind of shows me that, like, damn, yeah, their love got a chokehold on her, bro. Been there. Definitely been there. But then at the end of the song, it seems like she kind of moves on from them. She says, when I'm in the blue light, I can make it all right, which I'm assuming is her kind of moving on from them. I'm hoping, since it does seem like it was a rough breakup. But yeah, one thing about the song, though, I will say I'm not a big fan of is the drop, I guess, like the release. Wasn't a big fan of it. I feel like there could have been more oomph in it. It just didn't feel like it was gratifying enough for me personally. Like, the build-up just felt like a lot, and the payoff just wasn't enough. Next up is Shapeshifter, which starts off very different from the previous two tracks, where it kind of almost sounds like she's like talking, and she has like really beautiful low voice, and I was like, damn, okay, I liked it. I don't usually hear her sing like that, or I guess more speak, but yeah, it was a nice surprise. Shapeshifter is a lot more about hookups and almost kind of like hookup culture. She says, if I'm fine without it, why can't I stop? Give him nothing personal, so I'm not attached. Kind of touching on how, you know, when you do hookups, a lot of times you aren't trying to get attached. It's just fucking leave. So, but then she also talks about how she's kind of been a person for everyone. Like, everyone kind of wants her to be a specific person when, I guess, the hookups are happening, I'm assuming. And maybe even she just means in relationships, but I think primarily hookups, where she kind of has to be this different person for everyone to please them. But it feels like she's always the one that is unsatisfied by the end of the hookup. At the end, she's like, I just want to like let go and fall, as if she wants to feel satisfied and stop having to put up all these different fronts and be all these different identities for other people just to please them. Like, she's tired of being all these different people for other people just to satisfy them. Like, she wants to just let go. And aside from her, like, kind of feeling like she has to shapeshift into all these different people during hookups, like, it could also maybe be talking about her gender identity. She kind of feels like masculine but also feminine. Like, she feels like she's shapeshifting between both, maybe. The outro to this song, though, oh my god, it is beautiful. Like, holy shit, Lorde's vocals, like, oh my god, crazy. Next song is the extremely popular Man of the Year, and holy shit, it's so good. It's so vulnerable and raw and just, oh my god, it really touches on her gender identity and just talks a lot about how she's been feeling about it. This song really is like her saying kind of like, hey, this is how I'm feeling about my identity right now, and I don't have all the answers, but I want to share how I'm feeling, and I want to have conversations about it. And like, yeah, she definitely opened up the conversation, and oh my god, like when the chorus hits and she's just like, who's gonna love me like this? And it's just like, really is just a question of the world being like, are you guys still gonna love me? Like, if I do, you know, make this change and express how I feel about my identity, and, you know, or will I face like a shit ton of backlash and be discarded? And it's just such a fucking raw lyric. It's genius. and it's heart-wrenching. Like, it's actually heart-wrenching. I really love how it goes from the beginning of the song, kind of talking about how, like, sirens sing, like, this sweet melody, and she kind of talks more, like, from her feminine side, and then after she's, like, cut the cord and decided she wants to be who she wants to be, and she's not gonna let the world hold her back, she kind of starts touching on that more masculine side. She jerks off and she lets, like, the mouthwash just swish in her mouth. And yeah, I really love the contrast between, like, her feminine side in the beginning of the song and then her kind of discovering her more masculine side and embracing that, and how she isn't just defined by femininity anymore. And her saying, like, let's hear for the man of the year is kind of like welcoming that newfound masculine energy into herself and allowing herself to feel that and to celebrate that, because that is a beautiful thing. Discovering more about your identity is beautiful, and even if people don't accept you for it, like, fuck them. Genuinely, she wants to let that masculine energy in. She wants to celebrate it, and she's not gonna let anyone in the world hold her back. And I love that. This is definitely one of her best tracks, like, ever. The next track, bro, actually fucking broke me. Like, I'm not gonna make a big deal out of crying to an album because I have before, but shit. Next song is Favorite Daughter. The lyrics in this song are so personal and heart-wrenching. And I mean, I'm not sobbing, but it definitely, like, reading the lyrics definitely made me tear up. Like, the song in itself is a lot more of, like, a synth pop track, and it's pretty high energy. It's just the lyrics, like, honestly, they're just too fucking relatable. But yeah, like, a lot of the lyrics are about her relationship with her family. Like, throughout the song, she connects a lot of the achievements she's earned to her mother's love, kind of talking about how, like, being that star in her mom's eyes is more of a trophy to her than any of the fame that, you know, being a singer could bring her. With the lyrics like, I'm an actress, look at all the medals I won for you. Like, oh, it's so, like, heartbreaking that she feels like she needs to kind of win all these medals just to prove her worth to her mom. It's so relatable, but it's so fucking sad. Oh my god, I fucking love Lorde. Oh, it is kind of crazy though how poppy this song does sound. I feel like with the lyrics, it's such a stark contrast. You know, you listen to the song and you're almost like, wow, that's refreshing compared to all the heavier sounding songs that have been present on this album so far. Like, this is a song you'd probably hear on the radio. Like, it has that modern pop feel, but, you know, you read the lyrics and it's like, damn! The next song is Current Affairs. The beginning definitely gave me Castle on the Hill by Ed Sheeran vibes, like, with the guitar. And the song also kind of gave me, like, Taylor Swift vibes a little bit too. But yeah, I actually really liked Current Affairs. She's basically telling us a story. Like, there's no interpreting anything here, really. It's literally just her flat out describing a time in her life. But yeah, you could definitely tell she's talking about a toxic relationship, since she says, you know, it was only a field trip till it cooled my blood. That's how it tends to start. You're in the light, then you're in the dark. Touching on, you know, how you could have this beautiful relationship with someone that you fully trust, and then, you know, like, the snap of your fingers, shit could get really dark and abusive and toxic all around. And I feel like she touches on that really well throughout the story. The beat drop in this song, like, that part, so pretty. Like, I love that addition. I thought that was really unique and definitely makes the song stand out to me production wise. But yeah, the crying on the phone, saying nothing's wrong, like, when obviously there is really bad shit happening in the relationship, and then talking about how her bed's on fire, and, like, calling out to her mom saying she's so scared. Like, these lyrics are, like, deeply disturbing to me, and oh my god, this whole song is just really heavy. As much as I do love the drop, I just don't know if I would be coming back to this song just based off of the fact that, like, the lyrics are really, really hard to ignore, but they are really real, and I really appreciate her telling this story, you know, reflecting on what being in an abusive and just all around toxic relationship is like. And again, I like how the song sounds, but I just feel like the lyrics are too heavy for me to add to my playlist. I also think the song being called Current Affairs is really genius, talking about how like the declining of our country, like all the horrible current affairs are kind of why her relationship is going so wrong, is what I feel like she's trying to say. I think that's, like I said, genius and really impactful, and yeah, really good song, but I don't know if I could listen to it on repeat. Next is Clearblue, which is like a transitioning song, kind of like an interlude. There's like barely any instrumentation on the song, and definitely gave me like Imogen Heap vibes a little bit. I really loved the reverb she put like on her voice throughout the song. The lyrics in the song are very sexual, like at least for Lorde. Deep in my matter, you're changing my patterns. Your metal detector hits my precious treasure. I'm nobody's daughter. I feel you answer, my hips moving faster. I rode you until I cried. How's it feel being this alive? Lorde. Like, okay. Next track was GRWN, which I thought meant get ready with me, but apparently in this context it means grown woman. Definitely the most interesting production wise. Like, holy crap, I really like the song's production, like, a lot. And how it's about, you know, becoming a grown woman, and how growing up isn't as fun as, like, you know, you might think when you're a kid, and kind of how hard it is to figure out what growing up even really means. She talks a lot about things from her past. She mentions her mama's trauma and like all her body changes and scars and her chipped tooth, and you can kind of tell how she doesn't even know what growing up and becoming a grown woman means, since, you know, she keeps repeating the lyric like a grown woman and a baby teeth, kind of blurring that line between being grown up and also still feeling like a child. But yeah, I really love the production. It sounds really unique compared to all the other tracks on this album, and definitely adding this to my daily playlist. Next song is Broken Glass, and this song definitely felt just kind of like a vibe, especially when she's like, you know, did I cry myself to sleep about that, cheat about that, rot teeth about that? Like, we've all been there once or twice. So yeah, I don't know, the lyrics in this song just felt a lot more like widely relatable, and it's also really catchy too. Like, the beat, it's definitely a funner song, at least not in the lyrics specifically, but it feels a lot like bouncier. But yeah, this is another one of those songs where some of the lyrics like are like extremely depressing. Like, she literally speaks outright about her self-worth and, you know, body issues, like referencing how she kind of like over the summer lost herself in math, referencing counting calories and her struggle with an eating disorder. She talks about how she wants to punch the mirror and talk to her younger self and tell her how none of this shit is gonna last forever, and that she will make it to the other side and things are gonna get better. And it's just like, yeah, the lyrics are really heavy, but again, it's so genius to contrast it with the bubbly production. Next song is If She Could See Me Now, and this song is such a nice break from all the heaviness. Like, Lorde is definitely still touching on heavy topics. Like, she mentions like lifting weights to exercise her demons, which again calls back to her eating disorder. Feels like this song is such a beautiful like growth piece. I'm saying like if she could see me now, like, and that's kind of like her referencing her younger self, kind of being like, look at how much I've grown like from back then. And like, it feels like we've earned this, like, through listening to all of the struggles Lorde's been through. I mean, just throughout this album, this track sounds a lot more confident, and like with the guitars like a lot darker. But yeah, I feel like she's really grown up to be, you know, that grown woman she talked about in GRWN. And now we are on to the last track of the album, David. Just wow. Like, I just finished the album and heard the last her last single, David. And oh my god. Her saying, "Am I ever gonna love again?" The song's over and I feel actually fucking empty. Like, that song was genuinely hot. Like, oh my god, this song was like gut-wrenching. Holy shit. Like, I have nothing to say. Like, I feel broken. I genuinely, like, I mean, she talks about breakups in her songs, like, yeah, but god, the bond she had, like, she and this person shared. She saw him as God. Like, she would give him everything, anything and everything. God, guys, oh my god, insane fucking instrumental breakdown at the end, and like acapella. The lyric "pure heroin mistaken for featherweight," like, oh my god, lyrical genius. And I truly mean that. Like, I know she's referencing her past album Pure Heroin, but like how she ties that in to the song, and how, you know, he would see her as this featherweight, he would see her as this weak ass person, but she knows she's strong, she knows she's a pure heroine. And you know, her saying, you know, that he was mistaken really shows again how much her self-worth has grown. And and like the effects used on her voice in this song, like all the layering of her own voice on top of each other, like, it's so well done. Alright, so that's all of Virgin by Lorde. And wow, god, that felt like a journey. That's what I love about this album, actually. Like, it felt like I was going on like a mental health journey with Lorde, and getting to explore like all of these, you know, issues she's had to deal with over the past couple of years, and you know, how she's dealt with these issues in her life, and also how she's continuously been healing and nurturing her younger self. And yeah, this album just felt like a journey. That's all I could say. Like, such a beautiful journey. I really liked it, and wow, like, it really touched me, in a way I just didn't expect it to. Like, I was expecting a lot since it is Lorde, but this album majorly surpassed my expectations. The one thing I will say though is, while I did like the production of a lot of the songs, like, the production felt very thought out. Like, there was a lot of industrial sounding noises that would go on throughout the songs, and like a lot of distorting and layering of like synth throughout each of the different tracks. One thing I will say is, while the sound does feel cohesive throughout the entire album, it almost feels cohesive to a fault. Like, a lot of the songs would have this like decently length build up, and then like this like shorter explosion release at the end, and then kind of end abruptly. And that was how a lot of the songs would go, and it's kind of formulaic. Like, I'm nitpicking to hell and back, but that's just kind of how I felt. And that was literally my only gripe with the album, I would say. But yeah, overall, this album was very vulnerable, very raw, very real. It felt very mature by the end. Definitely feels like you've grown with Lorde throughout this entire album's runtime. And yeah, again, like I said earlier, felt like a whole ass journey. And honestly, I might like this album more than I liked Melodrama. I don't know actually. Maybe they're on the same level. I don't know. It might also just be nostalgia talking, because I really have a lot of nostalgia for like Pure Heroin and Melodrama, especially Pure Heroin, which is why it's my number one. But yeah, if I was giving this a rating, I would give it probably a 9. Actually no, maybe like an 8.6. I was gonna give it a 9, but then I'm like, how many songs am I gonna actually be adding to my like everyday playlist. And I'm like, maybe not a 9, but definitely an 8.6. Like, it's definitely up there. I just feel like I related to a lot of the lyrics, and that's also like contributed to why I'm giving the album such a high rating. I gotta go, guys. Like, it's 6 in the morning. Actually, it's almost 6:30. Yeah, this is gonna be a really long video. I had a lot to say about this album, but yeah, I'll see y'all, and hopefully next time I'll be in my car and not sitting on the floor of my closet in the bright and early hours of the AM. Bye!